So WWE 2K25, they're hard at work here, and they put Drew McIntyre when he was like the chosen one, pal, into the game. I think, or is this like a creator? WWE Games, yeah. So this is the actual. Sorry, because you know that there's those accounts like Halloween and What's the Status, and they create pro wrestlers and they post and they're all official. And so this is actually, he's added to the game, the young Drew McIntyre, which you love to see. And when they start doing legacy like this with characters, you know that it's likely Drew is going to retire in WWE, right? My only gripe when they add these persona cards is that they don't, like, you get CM Punk from 2010 and then current CM Punk, they all have the same move set and taunts and shit. It's like, no, bro, the CM Punk in 2010 like had different tendencies and did, it just annoys me. It's like, put a little work into the things instead of just like, here's a new skin, I used to be the biggest Fortnite hater. And then I actually saw firsthand like what the work Fortnite does fan service wise when they add all these different IPs. And it's like, holy man, WWE doesn't even do like a tenth of this. Not even. I really enjoyed 2K25. I really enjoyed as a game. I'm not even going to lie. And speaking of which, PWI reports that 2K26 development is well underway. Superstars have already been doing voiceover work. And yeah, they just throw one of those at you every year. So Jeff Hardy paid tribute to The Fiend for Halloween in the Fiend face paint at Halloween Havoc here when they did the Woken Broken universe at NXT, where Dark State, that's their name, they defeated the Hardys for the tag title. Speaking of NXT, they just announced that NXT Evolve, this was on the show actually, TNA and AAA will all come together for Gold Rush, a 2-week special event November 18 and 25. Bunch of titles on the line. Every match will be a title match, and there'll be like 4 titles, or 4 companies rather, and their belts on the line. And we'll see everybody cross over, everybody working together, very AEW-ish. And the reason WWE does this so well is because their main roster, the main platform, WWE, Raw, SmackDown, those are presented as above NXT, which NXT is a WWE thing, but it's presented as the major leagues to NXT. And then you have NXT is sort of presented as above Evolve, TNA, and AAA, as it should be if you're the one facilitating and getting all the shine on all these companies, right? And all of these different products. Like, I know that they own Evolve, they own AAA now, which is also key in all of this. In America, you're the American-based promotion. If you want to look at an AEW, and even TNA did a good job of this with or without WWE, they presented themselves as like, no, here we are like above New Japan, and in AEW, they sort of made themselves equal, like Ring of Honor's equal to AEW. It's like, bro, you own Ring of Honor. Like, why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? And people say, well, it is a shell of itself. And people would argue that, like, oh, come on, Phil, you don't believe that. You harp on how the attendance and how it's a shell of itself. That's not very fair. I get all of that. But when the reason it's a shell of itself now is because when Tony Khan brought and he still does this, like, if you're an ROH world champion, they treat you like you'll just show up on Dynamite and be like the number 1 contender for a world title or something. So again, I'm just pointing out here like how WWE does this shit intelligibly, calculated in a way that so also over the weeks and months, actually, the last few weeks and months, we've been introduced to a bunch of Evolve people, a bunch of TNA people. TNA is a focal point of it. AAA's been woven in there. Even though TNA's showing up all over NXT, we've seen like Dr. Wagner in there, and we've seen these guys show up, and we see them crossing over. And so you've established like certain characters. Okay, Wagner Jr., Iguana, La Parca again. Like, these are characters that people go, oh, I hope this. Oh, AAA's on that. I hope this guy's involved. We're starting to see these guys. The Wyatt Six are going over there. They're an attraction. You don't want to wrestle them on SmackDown every single week in Evolve. You're not going to see them crossing over with TNA as much. It's more ID people, but the tippy top of the ID people kind of bleed over with NXT somewhat. And just the way they're doing it is it's so smart. It eliminated that aspect. Like they looked at how Tony Khan, not even that it's like they looked at it. They understand this because this is just old school working with other companies. And, like you go to Japan, New Japan's the Mac Daddy. You have to present it that way. You have to present your guys equal to or on the same level, even if Flair or Hogan gets the win. Hogan went to Japan and said, yeah, fuck this phony WWF belt. Like you almost kind of got to do that. And what AEW is doing is they're just like bringing Persephone in, and then it's like, Google it. Who is that? Google it. Who the fuck's Hechicero? Google who he is. You don't know who Vikingo is and why this is a dream match for Vikingo to fight Kenny Omega. Look at how AEW used Vikingo. Look at how WWE's used Vikingo. How has Vikingo gotten more notoriety and gotten more over? Who's used him more effectively? You just have to ask yourself that objectively. I'm glazing this because I like it, and this is how you do the cross-promotion shit. This is how you introduce Dr. Wagner a handful of times, and then I go, oh, he's that, well, hopefully AAA, maybe Dr. Wagner will be in that shit. You know what I mean? To the casual, or maybe somebody who's not like an uber smart, or those NXT fans, like they're diehard NXT fans through and through. Maybe some of them aren't even like tapped in with the indies or AAA like that, but now they're starting to become more and more. And instead of people sticking their noses up in the air and being like, Google it and shit, the commentary, the vignettes, the packages, the selective crossover shows, like, okay, some of the, like, yeah, Dom's the champ. He's going to do all the AAA shows, but some of them are like Worlds Collide, and we're going to promote the shit out of them as crossover, and we're going to put them on all the YouTubes and da-da-da, right? Just the way they've done this, I think, has been immaculate. So, yeah, I mark out for all this AAA, TNA, NXT shit, just because of the way they booked it. When I first heard about it, it was when they bought AAA, I was like, oh, shit, it's game over, like Mexico-wise. With TNA, I've been weary, and I even maintain to this day, TNA, stay independent like they have been. The way they sort of portray themselves, and Carlos Silva has gone publicly and been like, they don't control us and shit, da-da-da-da. So Evolve and AAA, they own those, okay? It's a done deal. Whatever they want to happen is going to happen. But with TNA staying, like, we're partnered, but we're kind of doing our own thing. Like, I encourage that more as well. I would love to see New Japan get in the mix with all this. They don't need to be, Nuge doesn't need to be involved with Raw and SmackDown. Okay? It can be New Japan on this shit as well. New Japan, AAA, TNA, NXT. Think about that. The next show being that. It would be amazing, and it would help them so much, and it would help their business so much. So hopefully that works out, and hopefully Shinsuke Wrestling Tanahashi can open that door if that really happens. I spent a lot of time on that. But speaking of AAA, Vikingo lashes out at fans after Alberto Del Rio chants hijack the AAA event. So we actually have some highlights from this here. Here's what went down. I think this was after their match, or Dom's match with Dragon Lee, which I have some highlights of as well, which are fucking crazy. But Dom used the hammer to win his match with Dragon Lee. Vikingo resumed his racialist antics. Now, is he being racialist? I don't know. I have no clue, right? Because I didn't see it, and I don't know how he's being presented or anything, right? En Espanol, no habla inglés, right? And so I do like that AAA they're making money with these ads. I mean, Mexico always puts the ads on the rings and shit, but they use the WWE ropes now, dude. It's the ropes. So that's quite interesting as well. But a pissed Dragon Lee used same hammer to burst Dom's face open. El Grande made a timely save for Dom. His pat on Dom's head and Dom's bow of appreciation, friendship of the year. Let's watch some highlights of Dragon Lee and Dom. There was one botched spot that everybody pointed to. I don't know if it's in here, but Dragon Lee went for like a Hurricane Rana and like landed on his head. Look at those crazy dives, dude. Once he dives like that, it's all on you to save his life, So, like, here's Dragon Lee going crazy. Through the announce table, like, holy shit. So Dragon Lee was hitting crazy shit. So what happened here? He, like, goes for a hidden blade or something. Hits the ref. And then Dragon Lee starts scaling the fucking building. Watch this. EC Dub. EC Dub. Look at this shit. And Dom's doing, like... Bro, if this was a decade ago, there'd be no, like, avenue for Dom to, like, carry on his family, the Guerrero family legacy. No, but, like, the Mysterio and Guerrero family legacies, like, in Mexico in, like, a real fashion. Like, these crowds are hot as shit. Mexico's hot as shit, and he is, like, really, truly made a name for himself and is creating moments there. Like, this is shit people are going to remember. They're going to talk about it like the old times of, like, when CMLL Bryan, like the way Dave does, you know? So, yeah, just hitting crazy dives. Everyone's going insane. Here is the part with Vikingo, though. So, let's watch this. Look, he hit it. He glommed him with the hammer. So, like, Vikingo comes out. Listen to the reactions, right? So, like, Dom's beloved out there, but Vikingo, they hate him. I don't know if Alberto will come back, but yeah, he snapped on the fans as well because they were chanting Alberto at him. There's Americano with the heel headbutt. So, like, Dirty Dom and El Grande are the baby faces there. Dragon Lee and Vikingo are the fucking heels over there. But then you come back to America and it's the other way around, even though, like, Dom's super over. People love him, even though he's a bad guy.
Y ahí es el grande americano para auxiliar a su compa, a su amigo.
And then he goes, we as Mexicans get it. We are as, oh, sorry, he says, we are as Mexican as it gets. Giving him the M pass, the M card. Right? He just certifies El Grande there. Yeah, hell yeah. So it's just heating up over there, and I couldn't be more pleased with all of this. Speaking of NXT and AAA and all of that, NXT had another announcement. Deadline will take place Saturday, December 6th at the Boeing Center in San Antonio, and marking the first premium live event to emanate from San Antonio since Royal Rumble in 23. So tickets are going on sale, and Shawn Michaels is pumped for that. You know he's going to make an appearance in front of the hometown crowd there. Speaking of announcements, or we have some more NXT news quickly. You guys already know. We watched it together. PWT live show Saturday night. Blake Monroe became the NXT Women's North American Champion. It was vacated there from Soul, I think, who's still the Speed Champion or whatever. But, that's the right move. This is the absolute right move, and she can have another match with Zarya. I could see a Soul or Zarya heel turn incoming sooner than later, right? And that will be good shit. Moving along here, Tatum Paxley. She deserves this. I mean, everyone's giving her love. She has fully embraced this, like, spooky girl gimmick. And again, this is what I mean. Not everybody needs to do the, well, I'm going to dye my hair black and whatever. She flipped it in a way. How do you explain it, man? She's like Harley Quinn, kind of, but not in a cringe, like, oh, I'll just do pigtails and dye my hair and be like that. Like, it's what I mean by that is, like, the essence of her, the way she fights, She's like chaotic, but innovative, but like simple at the same time. This is what I mean with Tatum Paxley. I broke this down as well. She'll do like an enziguri, but she'll step up on the apron. And like, I'm sure I've seen that before, but it's just little things like that. She does the backflip out of that corner spot, and just the way she does it, it's like she's having fun, or it's like a kung fu movie. Like it makes sense in a way, right? Like the way she backflips out of the shit. I don't know, but she's got like the spooky emo girl thing going on, which I don't even know. Is that her vibe before? Like, you know how Rhea Ripley was a blonde and shit, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I'm metal and fucking tattoos and piercings and shit. Was Tatum Paxley always like this? I have no clue, but what I'm getting at is her character fucking rules. She's a tremendous wrestler. She could be main roster ready already. Jane has had a tremendous run. Jane had a historical run there. Jane and Fatal Attraction or Fatal Influence, like the joke is Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close, right? JC Jane and them should go to the main roster and feud with like add to the tag division and get like, no offense to Kiana James, but just valet, like get the fuck out of there. JC Jane and them, I think their faction would work on the main roster. Let's see more of that. Let's see some of these girls get called up. You know what I mean? Tatum is, again, people forget what this NXT title is all about. It's for the people who are like every move they've made with these NXT titles have been incredibly smart. I think that the NXT titles from the beginning till now, women's and men's, maybe not the tags, maybe not some of the other belts, but the men's and women's NXT titles, I think, are two of like the best book titles in the history of wrestling, as far as they don't just like throw them on anyone and everyone who gets them. It's always at the right time. There's been a couple times where maybe they jumbled it around with like Finn and Samoa Joe or whatever, but I mean, those guys were fucking peak, man. Demon Finn versus Samoa fucking Joe, like that was crazy, So just everyone who's held these, I don't know, like maybe the tag belts and that North American and the cruiserweight, like I'm sure some of those, have gotten out there where you're like, what the fuck? But the men's and women's NXT titles, I think, have always represented like the right person at the right time, And like Obafemi as well. They booked his reign of terror perfectly, I thought. And then it's the era of Starks now. Ethan Page slipped in there and got it, but he's kind of like grinding his way up and he's elevating the North American title, and it'll eventually be Page and Saints again for that thing. Paxley right now is like just, I think, the embodiment of like sports entertainment character, wrestling on point, can wrestle anyone. We've seen her in tag matches with Bliss and Charlotte and shit like that. Is like, has her own vibe, even though the spooky Halloween girl thing, it's been done, or what is she? She's like, she fit right in with Gigi and Shotzi, like that sort of vibe. Like, yeah, it's been done, but has like a unique approach to it, and the way they've booked her has been really well, and she plays it well. She doesn't come across phony, and her stuff with the culling is it's been pretty interesting, right? Like, she's a baby face in this heel group, and we're not really seeing signs of them. They're going to cast her out or anything, but you got to think it's going to happen. We did see Izzy, like, it looked like she was going to crack her with the title, but you could make the excuse like she was trying to help her or whatever, which I'm sure they'll do. But Paxley's going to break out. I think she's one of these girls who's main roster ready, but so is like Kalani Jordan and a bunch of these girls. So just keep them down there, mixing it up with everybody. TNA sort of putting NXT on their backs, these TV deals on their backs and shit. I'm all for it. And coming out of the invasion, Paxley, I think, is the perfect representation of like NXT, to have that fucking thing going into whatever the next step is. And face it, people need to get called up. Trick needs to get called up. Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence, they need to get called the fuck up. Like, no more waiting around. Speaking of like AAA and NXT and Evolve and all of this stuff, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page are teaming up again, which is just a brilliant pair. Dude, the Secret Hervis, like Ethan Page should be in that group with Chelsea Green and fucking Alba Fire and whoever they add to that shit. And hopefully Niven's getting, we haven't had an update on that. I hope that she's getting better. But Chelsea Green and Ethan Page will be going after the AAA World Mixed Tag Team Championship.
On November 2nd, in Monterrey, Mexico, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green plan to be your new AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions. La Hiedra, Mr. Iguana, how do you say it in Espanol? Ethan Page, Chelsea Green, numero uno. Adios.
So they're taking on Hydra, and so think about that as well. Like, that's a huge match for the fans in AAA. We got two of the greatest Canadians who've ever lived teaming up, and they make such a great pairing or whatever faction together already that we've seen on NXT. And I don't know, dude. I've been all about this trip. I'm like, I need to start watching AAA. I don't know where it comes on in Canada, though, besides like YouTube. I should really look into it so I can be watching this shit. And I implore everybody to do it. Io Sky, though, was at Marigold Grand Destiny, and she had a match against Mayu Iwatani. So this was recently, I believe. And Io Sky made her entrance at Marigold Grand Destiny. Let's check this out. WWE. It's like the other day, right? And again, there are working relationships with Marigold and with Noah that exist. But how awesome would it be for a working relationship with New Japan to exist? Yeah, Io comes out. She's a fucking star. Speaking of AAA, again, the Wyatts, we talked about this a little bit, but the Wyatt Six, man, they show up. They're holding up these titles. They beat the shit out of Psycho Clown and Pagano. And you see Nikki Cross is allowed to take it to that next level, and she spits up the blood and all of this shit. So HBO Max. So we have Crave out here, but like not all the same shit. Like HBO Max, fucking AEW's not on Crave out here. It's not on HBO up here. You know what I mean? It's all WWE shit is on there. Speaking of WWE shit, man, let's talk about like main roster stuff. Okay. So Monday Night Raw on December 15th has sold 4,000 tickets. The current setup is 5,900, whatever the fuck. Now, it's funny that you're seeing a lot of sickos melting down and they're saying shit like, WWE went from 12K to 5K. Like, that isn't a problem. And it's comparable to AEW. This is the fucking problem with these sickos. They don't understand like reality. They don't exist in the real fucking world. And it's like, dude, I get why as a simpleton, that's how you're interpreting it, right? But then now think more deeply about this. Just have a nuanced conversation or thought about this. AEW went from like 11K people, 10K, 9K, and now they're doing like 1,200, 2,000, and it was a slow decline year over year over year over year. It spiked up a little bit with Punk, but that's because of Punk. It's not because AEW got good. It's because Punk showed up there, dude. If he could have did that for any company, he could have did that anywhere. Okay, it's just that AEW had the platform, the money to make it worth his time. And he, I think when people say, oh, Punk's just a company, man, that's what he was trying to do in AEW. But they didn't allow him. They threw it in his fucking face. So he realized he had to go to WWE and do it. But whatever, not to make this entirely about AEW, but it's like with WWE, they didn't go from doing 11K to 5K overnight like it's this thing, right? They still draw like 16K, 12K, 10K, 6K. All right, that's okay. They do 6K houses here and there, 5K houses here and there. What we're talking about with AEW is that their pay-per-views are doing 6K now. Their pay-per-views are being outdrawn by TNA pay-per-views. WWE's fine. They can pull up in certain markets, do 15K. No problem. They do a SmackDown, a AAA show, or whatever, and they come back and go, 45,000 people. Tickets were sold for these events. It's crazy, man. They're knocking it out of the park in that regard. In AEW, there's none of that. Okay? Every month they sell, with including the pay-per-view, like 20,000 tickets. WWE clears that in 1 week easily. Some markets, yes, they do less, man. Absolutely. The problem is that the conversation is overall WWE's attendances are up and the tickets have doubled in price. AEW's attendances overall are down and the tickets are cheaper than they were. And Tony's always like changing the prices up and down over the years, if you notice too, which is fine. I mean, that's what everybody does, but it's like a lot for a 6-year company. Like, where's a steady flow? Like, where have they found their rhythm? They can't. They get into like a 1-year flow, and then it just, like, the first few years, you know, they got in like a 1 or 2 year, like for like a year or so they were flowing. Then it just started slowly going downhill. Punk comes back, they're flowing for like a year, starts slowly going downhill. I just don't know why just don't worry about WWE, bro. And people will call it out. Here, notice this. The sickos just defend shit to the death, whereas I, a wacko, will call it the fuck out. And I'm a sicko too, but I'm a wacko. All of us are. If you're here listening or talking about wrestling or spending time worrying about wrestling attendances, you're a fucking TNA hole, okay? You're a freak. Just admit it. But here's the thing, right? I will admit this. WWE needs to stop price gouging and shit. Like, it's going to eventually, it's not going to come back and destroy the company, but they're going to lower the prices. And they might have to do it drastically, more drastically than they anticipated, which then people will be able to clown on, and I will be able to as well, because it's called bad optics. Unless WWE right now, and maybe they've been in the process of doing it and I don't see it, but if they slowly lower them, like slowly, just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, then we'll look at that and go, okay, well, that's the ebbs and flows of business. But if this is how it makes WWE look foolish, if like tomorrow they're like, oh fuck, our next 10 events aren't selling, cut all the prices in half. Like fucking like Tony did all of a sudden. $20, 4 tickets and a cheeseburger and a beer. That's what you get. Like, you know, last minute they're on camera fucking giving away tickets at events, and by the handful, hundreds, thousands of tickets. Yes, dude. When Swerve is like, hey man, I'm outside of the building all day with the mascot from the local women's softball team, and we're just giving tickets out. Come by and we'll just give you free tickets to the show. As soon as WWE and them start doing that, yeah, we'll clown it. And if all of a sudden overnight WrestleMania is not going to sell out, they just slash the prices 50%, we'll fucking clown that. Trust me, I'll be the first to do it. But like, no, WWE didn't go from doing 12,000 to 6,000. They'll do 12,000 in a week. They'll do 12,000 people at a Raw again. And then what are you going to say, you know? Like, trust me, I'd call it out if it was a thing. But Friday Night SmackDown, December 19th. So this one, they've only sold 1,200 tickets and they're doing 4,200 seats. Now, again, year-to-date show average 10,000, whatever. SmackDown, the last time they were there, SmackDown did 10,000 seats. And people are clowning this. Here's the thing. The cheapest ticket available is $70, bro. $70, and it's right around Christmas time. So WWE's super calculated in this. The tickets are expensive as fuck. $70 in this economy. The cheapest ticket around Christmas? Whoa. What do you want to fucking peg me in the bum while you're at it too? Like, what's going on here?
Allegedly.
You know? But for real, like, that's crazy. Do I get a foot rub at my fucking seat, bro? Like, how much are front rows for that? But they know what they're doing. So it's just a less setup. They know, like, well, we're going to gouge on the prices. But if we get less people here, it's around the holidays. You see how many dates they're doing around the holidays too. They're like doing double shots. Oh, they only drew this much. Buddy, they have 2 teams on the same day doing shows on this holiday tour. They have fucking, on the same day, they have like WWE A team and the B team, and they're in 2 different cities on the same night doing fucking shows, drawing about 4,000 to 5,000 each place at $70, the cheapest ticket. That's before taxes and shit. $70, bro. Like, come on, man. What are you guys talking about? They're crushing it. If you want to have that conversation, like, I don't give a fuck though, you know, like, I don't care if fucking WWE, like, again, I don't care. Like, people will say that, why do you care how much fucking money there? I don't. Just everyone wants to argue about, are they dying or not? Well, no. How do we quantify whether or not they're in trouble or whether they should be alarmed? Well, we look at the data. What's their objective? Sell a bunch of tickets, make a bunch of money. Well, they're doing that, so I don't know what the fuck you guys are crying about, dude. This house show will outdraw an AEW pay-per-view by next year's time. Start worrying about AEW, you know? That's like, fuck. Speaking of attendances and pay-per-views and announcements and whatnot, Elimination Chamber. So according to PWI, Mike Johnson, WWE is looking to Chicago to put together a big series of events around Elimination Chamber, which is set for 2/28 at the Allstate Arena. It was said WWE is currently putting a logistical plan together that would see them host SmackDown on 2/27, but also potentially hold NXT and AAA events that weekend, which is sweet, I guess, if you're there. And that sort of encapsulates our pay-per-view and NXT AAA talk and all of that. So just to focus strictly on the main roster now and not attendances and boring shit. WWE, they've been dropping these vignettes. They've dropped like 6 of them, and everybody thinks it's like a person's debuting or returning or whatever. I put some guesses out there. I made a joke. I was like, well, he's wearing socks, so it ain't Gunther. Right? And then people were like, well, it could be Gunther. I checked my notifications the other day. I shouldn't have did it. People were like, well, it still could be. And I'm not like hating on anybody saying that. It's just like funny how people are like, he's just wearing socks now. It's like, guys, I'm kidding. It's like, Gunther doesn't wear socks. Hello. Oh, man. So, anyways, though, these things are airing. It's obvious now. We figured out who it was based off of just simply, I think someone reported it. PWI actually, I think, shout them out, actually reported it, and I think are spot on because more of these vignettes dropped, and it pretty much confirmed what they said. So it's Brock Lesnar, it's Roman Reigns, it's Cody Rhodes, it's Paul Heyman, and it's a promo for WrestleMania. And I guess people are fucking triggered by this. Like a bunch of dummies are fucking melting down over it.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And they're like, oh, it was supposed to be. I thought it was the revision as well. It's like, oh, so it's the revision because it was clearly Heyman. But then you saw like the cowboy boots with the denim, and it's like, oh, it's Brock. So it's just a promo for WrestleMania. And yeah, there you go. No big deal, right? So Doug Malo, the wrestler that pushed off Raja Jackson during the Psycho Stu incident, was security at SmackDown this week. Hell yeah, dude. Well, at least you know he'll do a good goddamn job. At least you know if a fight breaks out, he'll actually fucking step in and you know what I mean, dude? So yeah, shout out Doug Malo. Per PWI, WWE's recent mystery let's rewind that. Per PWI, WWE's recent mysterious teaser videos feature Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Brock Lesnar. They were filmed as promotional marketing content for Mania 42. So there you go. One last Raw, one last time. Netflix is Raw every Monday, 8 p.m. I don't know why I'm reading all that bullshit, but one last time, one last Raw from the world's most famous arena. Famous. I'm all over. Sorry, guys. I'm turning Raw on my Netflix right now. I'm half reading, half scrolling. On Monday, November 17 at MSG. Okay, so his last ever Raw will be in a couple weeks and a half here, few weeks, on November 17th at MSG. That place is going to be rocking for John Cena. What a place for him to make his final Raw appearance. And we will be here Member Monday. Do you remember? I remember. And we'll all be together for that, for Member Monday. Speaking of coming together, Liv Morgan had her joints put back in place. This is a fucking grotesque video, but it's pro wrestling, so it's fake, YouTube. This doctor here pulls Liv's shoulder back in place, and notice the instant relief. So if you've ever had like a finger dislocate or any sort of injury, like an elbow or a shoulder or any injury like this where you got to pop your shit back in place, that instant relief when it first happens and she jumps up and she's like, maybe that's it. And they're like, no, it's a serious fucking tear. But when it's out of place like that, oh God, the pain just jolts through you. So if you guys watch her shoulder here, you will see it. You like at first you're like, oh, what am I looking at? And then you just see this bitch slide back in place and you're like, oh God.
Pull some traction. Just relax a little. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Wait, do you think that's it, maybe?
See, when they go, like, you anticipate it hurting more, the actual popping in, because it's kind of scary and it's so sensitive and it does kind of hurt. But like if they do it correctly, or if you pop your own shit back in correctly, the fucking instant relief, you're like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah, but I'm going to check just to make sure. Pull some traction.
She's like, oh, do you think that's it? Look at this. Look how tough she is.
Relax a little.
Oh,
you're good.
bro.
You're good.
Wait, do you think that's it, maybe?
Oh, buddy. You just fucking see it slide right back in place, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So speaking of the women's roster here, Bryan, okay? Bryan here. We'll give him a Bryan. Crying Bryan. He's always crying. But him and Filthy Tom Lawler talk about if Jade Cargill needs to turn heel or not. So let's check this out. And I actually might agree with them here.
Jade turns heel on Tiffany Stratton.
Or like I agree with them that not if she needs to, she did rather. What I'm saying is I agree with them in that it's better she's a heel. I've been calling for it for a long time. I think they should put the baddies section together. I'm not even joking. Just steal that shit from AEW. Bro, AEW just stole WWF's old, like, we're working in the office commercial. They just literally stole it. Just steal the baddies idea.
What did you think about that?
I think it's the right decision. I don't think the fans have really been behind Jade as a big-time babyface force the past few months. And I think adding a little bit of edge to her character, especially after the way she kind of went out, and you could see above her left eye, she has this huge gash from when she got split open in the steps.
Look at that fucking scar, dude. That rules, actually. And remember when I told you guys earning her stripes literally and figuratively? Look at what she wears, and she sports it proudly. She looks like a supervillain. Fuck this Storm. Everyone's like, she should be Storm. Nah, dude. She's like a supervillain, dude. And that's what Rhodes did. Now, she could have the best plastic surgeons in the world make it look like that gash probably didn't even exist. I'm not kidding. WWE will give her access to that. UFC has TKO in them. They have those doctors on fucking speed dial. But it's just like what Rhodes did and what she did there. She made a choice to wear that scar proudly. Rhodes did the same thing with his. And it's gangster as fuck, man. Jade got so over with that shit, and people boo-booing on her heel turn. They're just fickle, man. It's just fickle online noise.
So I think it's the right move. And I think, maybe she'll feel more comfortable in there working as a heel and find her groove,
I think she's already miles better as a heel. I thought
she did like one thing.
Well, no, she did the promo afterwards. I thought it was a way better promo as a heel than the promo she does as a babyface. And the beatdown was good, and then she stomped on Tiffany's leg, and they're doing an angle where Tiffany is injured, but she's still going to defend the title against Jade. So I think finally Jade is going to win this title as a heel. They put it off since WrestleMania.
Yeah, Brian, it shouldn't have happened then. Shut the fuck up. And then lastly, we have Crying Bryan crying about NXT some more. And Crying Bryan might get his own segment on Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week, or we'll just fit it in. Crying Bryan might get his own segments on the I know it overlaps, but we might just fit him in all the different news or just on the regular Wednesday, Saturday live shows. But Trick needs to be on the main roster. So he's crying again about, like, these NXT guys need to be on the main roster. And I agree, but it's so fucking bloated But obviously Trick is going up soon. He has to be. And then Crying Bryan has taken the idea everybody had for Obafemi, and instead of applying it to Obafemi, he's saying that Trick should answer the U.S. Open Challenge. Okay, but here's the only thing, dummy. Fucking, what's this? And we all make mistakes.
Dummy, yeah.
Dragunov won the U.S. title from Sammy. The Open Challenge was Sammy's bit. It's not like Ilya's going to do Open Challenges. And if he does, that's kind of whack. Just make a TV title and then have the TV title, the TV champion, defend Open Challenges. Like, that's the U.S. heavyweight title. It was sort of like Sammy was doing it in homage to Cena type shit. So that was cool. But then we're past that. We're past the Sammy Cena shit and all of that. Sammy lost. Right? So if you're going to have like, open title challenge every week, okay, have the Raw Television Championship or the SmackDown Television title and make that belt every TV show, you probably defending that. You're in an open challenge, right? Unless we say otherwise. But yeah, if the open challenges go to Dragunov, I mean, I honestly don't want to see that because Dragunov doesn't have matches with people the way Sammy does, where you're like, holy shit, Sammy versus Phoenix, now Sammy versus Cena, now Sammy versus Dragunov beats the fuck out of you and himself. I don't want to see that. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. So it is what it is, but Trick should answer the U.S. title challenge and then fucking lose to Dragunov is the other point I'm getting at. Bryan. You just want to bury people worse than you claim WWE.
I thought it was a 3.5-star match. I thought it was a good, solid
3.5-star match. Bryan, what do you rate your fucking stars on? What are your stars based on? Do I got to start doing this 3.5 stars? So are your stars based on what Dave's stars are based on? You want care to explain to us?
Guys, Tony Khan.
What his fucking stars are based on? Because nobody knows at this point. We still don't know.
Main event championship match between two guys. I mean, my whole takeaway from it was, that's it for Trick. We got to get rid of this guy. He's got to go to the main roster. He's done everything he can do here.
And in TNA.
He won the NXT title, multiple-time champion. He won the TNA title. He lost the NXT title. He lost the TNA title. He lost the rematch for the NXT title. It's like there ain't nothing more for this guy.
It's just you're so retarded. Yeah, he lost all these belts. They ain't nothing for him to do. Yeah, because they're calling him up. They're going to call him up. That's called the process of, like, it's just like, yeah, no shit, everything happened. He did everything. I mean, they should call him up. Why the fuck aren't they? Because that's what they're doing. Fuck beings.
He's been a baby face. He's been a heel.
Tag team singles.
Main eventer in both promotions. Like, get this guy to the fucking main event and push him.
To the main event of Raw and SmackDown right now. Get him to the fucking main event right now and push him. This guy's fucking clueless. Bryan, you're clueless. Bryan doesn't realize that when people come from NXT, they don't always get the same reactions on the main roster. Right? Like Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie got huge reactions. Roxanne, it took her a minute, and they had to stick her with the Judgment Day before the main roster fans started giving a fuck. Julia, they don't really give a fuck. Just push him right in the main event. Have a main event right now against Punk. You're a fucking dipshit, bro. Holy shit, dude. When he gets called up, dude, he's going to have to, like, work his way up through some Miz's and shit first. I hope you know that. Again, it's about longevity. I know I know Dave ran your guys' fucking Titanic ship into the iceberg 20 years ago, and you hopped on, and it's been going downhill ever since, but fuck beings, man.
And it's October, so we're probably going to have to wait till the Royal Rumble, but it's fucking time, dude. Yeah. He's more than ready.
He's quite great.
Brandon's actually got a great idea here. Trick should answer the U.S. Open Challenge.
And win?
Yeah.
Hey, he's got a history with the Mad Dragon.
That would be awesome.
He knows all about this Dragunov guy.
That would be great.
But that would be great. Fuck, bro. Fuck. It's like me, I'm a huge NXT fan. Yes, it's the developmental and there's crossover and all of that. But even diehard NXT fans know you separate NXT. Like, these chuckle fucks are sitting here pretending. I don't know who he's sitting with, but Tom Lawler, don't fucking stretch me, dude. But but they're sitting here and they're acting like NXT is just like Raw and SmackDown. It's not, bro. You get presented differently. Sometimes there's crossover. Sometimes they just go, here's this person. To just be like, there's history with Dragunov. Yeah, they'll have to tell us about it the way they did with Lyra and Becky and shit. They'll have to like reinform the main roster and everything. So Trick comes out and answers the call and loses, or he beats Dragunov right away and we just hot potato this belt around, and then fucking crying Bryan will come on the air and cry that they're hot potatoing the fucking title around and that it means nothing. Brian. I don't know, man, but that was Bryan Alvarez dumb moment of the week, ladies and gentlemen, and that was WWE.